We're back.
Welcome back to depression-youarenot-alone.com. To my right, are you usually on my left? To my right is Shannon.
Hello.
Behind the scenes is John. No hello.
No hello.
No
No hello.
No hello. And my name is Lou. So last week we talked about narcissism. And by the way, it's hot. It's hot as
so
hell
hot out. It's so hot out
This
here.
may be our last outside episode
It's too hot. It's 100 degrees.
Until it cools down. We talked about narcissism in politics, and narcissism in religion, narcissism in our leaders, right? You know, I was watching the January 6th hearings. Actually, I watched them already, but I was a recap of all of them. And it's amazing, and this isn't really talking about specifically politics. It's about what goes on in our world here, how things work, that are just absolutely ridiculous. When you hear these people testify under oath, these are Trump supporters. These are people in the Trump cabinet. You've heard them all, for those of you that have watched it. If you're a Trumper watching this, you've watched none of it. It seems to be the norm. It seems to be the norm. But what this guy was trying to do, now we talked about narcissism. So there you go, there's a perfect example. Not only trying to break the law, getting others to do it for him on his behalf. And under oath, people testified, under oath, as to what he wanted to do, what he was trying to do. Now the next phase, this is supposed to be to find out the truth and to let the public know what happened. Now the next step would be for those Trump supporters to do what to those witnesses? To do what to those witnesses? Destroy them, right?
That's what they're going to do.
Destroy their credibility. Try to do everything to destroy them. Because it's not about finding out the truth. It's not about the truth. It's about, oh man, this is damaging to us, so now we need to destroy this person. Destroy their reputation. And then, of course, the death threats are going to come and things like that.
And it's about denying what was right there in plain sight.
Because it's not about the truth. It's not the Nixon days where the Republicans said, oh, no, you got to go. Right?
Oh, yeah.
The Republicans said to Nixon, no, you got to go. The Republicans today, no, we have to destroy these people to defend Donald Trump, who's no longer president, by the way. I don't know what you people are doing. Really don't know what you people are thinking. But the thing is, and think what this applies to. It's not about finding out the truth. It's not about facts. This happens with mental health. When there's someone has a mental health issue. Look at that shooting we just had.
Yeah, that's terrible. Oh.
What did this kid try to commit suicide a couple of years ago?
I think he tried to commit suicide. He threatened his parents.
Threatened to kill his whole family.
And the only reason he passed his background check
because his
dad's
dad,
guns.
His dad's sponsor, wasn't he?
He was never arrested for what he did before.
Yeah.
He didn't have an arrest time.
But his dad also, I believe, helped him get
Probably,
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
genius.
Yeah, it's really.
Hey, 2 years ago.
There's always something.
2 years ago, I threatened to kill all of you. Hey, Dad, go help me get a gun. Sure, let's go.
Yeah,
I'll drive.
The cops came in, they took away all his knives. He had knives cut out and all kinds. They took all of that. He was never arrested. That's why he passed his background.
Now, I wonder if you right-wingers now, you right-wing fanatics, are going to make a hero out of him.
Well, I don't know that they're going to make a hero out of him.
They did with the other douchebag.
Rittenhouse.
They did with him.
Rittenhouse.
Try to make a hero out of him.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's just disgusting.
I know.
They were never able. These
But it's reality.
Were never able
Okay,
to admit.
then reality is disgusting. If that's where we are in this day and age.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you on
He
that.
crossed state lines underage with a gun. Okay.
How old was he?
Young?
Young?
17.
Yeah.
He was 17. Rittenhouse, not
Rittenhouse,
this guy.
yeah.
This guy's 20, 21.
22, 20.
My ice is going to melt in 2
21, I
seconds.
think. Yeah, 21. But the point I'm trying to make is that these hearings are supposed to bring out the facts, bring out the truth, and then let the public know, inform the public, right? And now that you have one side saying, okay, now we have to destroy these people that are under oath, testified, you know, and this is the other thing. Like Liz Cheney, for example, who's a Republican, right? She is so courageous for what she's doing. Really, that's courage?
No.
That should be doing your job. But this is the day and age we live in. If someone does something, they don't care about party, they care about facts, they care about their country. Oh, that's so courageous of you. Yeah, because you're going to get death threats. All these things are going to happen from lunatics.
Yeah, a lot
So,
of lunatics, yeah.
and this happens with mental illness. I mean, like I said, this kid here, right? Said he tried to commit suicide, was going to commit suicide,
Yeah, I think
threatened to
he tried,
murder his
yeah.
family. And then what, was it 2 years later, or that was 2 years ago, something like 2 years later?
Yeah.
He goes on a shooting spree and murders 7
So was
people.
did he ever get help? I mean, obviously he didn't get help, but did anybody ever put him in any type
As
of...
far as we know, nothing happened.
Okay, so there's a problem there.
Same thing with Cruz that did Stoneman Douglas.
Yeah.
They knew about him, they knew we had issues, nothing was ever done about
Well,
it.
And
see,
that's the
there you go.
problem.
That
It's
is the
preventable.
problem.
And this is the problem.
Case in point.
And this is the other problem, in my opinion, when it comes to mental illness, is so many people are like, well, the government needs to do this, the government needs to do that, the government needs to do... What about the parents, for Christ's sake?
Yeah, they gotta
The
step
kid's
up.
in your freaking house. It's in your house. He's your kid.
Yeah.
You raised him. You
Yeah,
want the
some of them
government.
don't
You want the
care.
government to come. We need to have the government come to your house if you have a child and change your kid's diapers too.
Yeah, but the parents aren't stepping
What the
they
hell
don't-
is going on?
Some of them.
The
lot of
government.
them.
The government
They
is
don't
not
care.
the solution to everything.
Well, I
Someone hears
agree.
that might say, "Hey, that sounds a little conservative," right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not conservative. It's just common sense. The parents, you can, when your kid is mentally ill, you see that change in your child. Teenage years, you see them becoming violent. You see them threatening to do this, threatening to do that.
Torturing animals.
Nothing.
Ah!
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
And
You know,
then,
it's a phase.
and then,
And then
a disaster,
a
a catastrophe,
huge disaster.
and then the government needs to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, parents don't do anything.
No.
Don't do anything. It's
Neglect.
your kid. You should
Yeah.
know him better than anybody. You should know there's something very bad here. Something is very wrong.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of parents, yeah, they take care of they'll turn their kids in if they have to. I mean, they'll do whatever.
Oh, it's been done, yeah.
It's been done. But in most cases, no.
No.
Zilch.
No. When you hear these stories of these kids, the issues they have, the parents aren't aware. They're not aware.
A lot of parents go, it's a phase. A lot of parents just don't
Oh,
care.
the kid's going through a phase.
Yeah, just don't care.
It's gonna pass.
And
They're
they're
living in
Let
their
them
own
be.
world.
they're so into
Yeah.
themselves sometimes that,
Yeah.
or so busy, and sometimes it's one parent, and could be mom, and mom's working 2 jobs and has other kids and overwhelmed. It's not always the parent is careless or irresponsible, but it is
There's gotta
way
you
too
gotta-
many times
Yeah.
that's the case.
Yeah.
Way too many times. And the answer isn't the government resolving these issues all the time. Now, another issue is access to treatment for mental illness. That's another problem we have. There are
I
places in
think
this country
in the,
can't find a psychiatrist, can't find a good therapist,
In this
or can't afford it.
In the last gun bill they just passed, last week or whatever, they threw in funding for mental health.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Basically, the Democrats, they want to do away with all guns. The Republicans want to keep them all. But at least the Republicans did something right here. They requested that there be mental health coverage in that bill.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you're going to say
Go.
Now, whether that's going to work out or not, who knows?
So,
That's what I was gonna say. Well, let's see what happens there.
I saw on Twitter, the new thing isn't physical health, it's mental health. It's 2022. That's the new thing.
Yeah.
Really?
What, mental illness? It just came out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere.
Just came out of
Boom.
nowhere. Something new, never happened before, it just came out of nowhere. We've had lunatics since the beginning of time. I think the
Yeah.
first caveman, he was probably a nut job. The other ones were like, oh, get away from that guy, he's a nut.
You sound like Peter.
But that's the new thing now. I hope it doesn't turn out to be a phase. that
Oh, it's
doesn't
going to be a
last.
phase until they come up with something.
You know, this is
I don't know that it'll be a phase.
This is,
Oh, it will be. Everything else has been.
you know, this is a problem. In my opinion, when it comes to politics, this is a problem. A lot of people love, oh, we have a two-party system. Let me put it to you this way. If I go to a restaurant, I order a meal, and they tell me, okay, you have a choice of 2 vegetables, broccoli or cauliflower. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't like either one, but I dislike cauliflower less. All right, I'll go with a cauliflower and choke it down. I think we should have 3 parties in this country. The left,
With a lot of
the lunatic left, the lunatic right, and then the centrist party,
Yeah.
which would represent a majority of the population.
Yeah,
we've got tons of different parties in this
that's.
country.
I don't think that. I don't foresee
No,
that.
I'm talking about legitimate. That can
Yeah.
actually get somewhere.
Yeah.
That can actually get
the
somewhere.
problem is
That middle
the
section.
two-party system. It's not even in the Constitution. It's forced on us
Okay,
by these 2 parties.
don't even bring up, what is it, the Green Party?
What about 'em?
The guy that convention, when they have the convention. Look
No,
like,
those are libertarians.
the libertarians, when
Those
they
are
have
hilarious.
conventions that look like a Comic-Con.
Those guys are hilarious. They're hilarious.
Let me vote for these guys.
Yeah.
Well, might be
And
better than what's
their
happening.
Batman suits and
Although
whatever.
I agree with them on a lot of stuff.
So do
Well,
I.
It might
Actually,
be
so
better.
do,
Actually,
so do a lot of people.
In fact, if you compare the libertarians and the Greens, they both agree on an awful lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they diverge for a bunch of other things. They just diverge.
But I'm talking about 3
yeah, but
legit parties that can actually, you know, because they don't have a chance anywhere,
yeah,
obviously.
well, we're in a forced 2-party system.
Exactly, we're in a
Yeah.
forced
They
2-party
both
system.
own the system, and they don't want anybody
So
else to
sometimes
compete.
you have to choose between 2 candidates. Okay, don't like this one, don't like that one. All right, I
take
dislike
the
that
less-
one more, so I'm going to
yeah,
vote.
yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
choke
That's
it
where-
down
that's where
and
we are. That's
vote
where
for
we
this
are.
one. Wow, that just doesn't seem like it's a
No.
lot of choices.
No, because there's
Now,
not.
in my opinion, if you have the radical left has their own party, the radical right has their own party, and then there's
The same people in the middle.
the centrist party, which would be a majority.
Yeah.
Now, would the radicals have Senate seats and congressional seats? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It depends on what state, what district.
Well,
of course.
If you go to Europe,
Now,
even the communists have seats.
right, but would the radical left or the radical right ever win the White House?
No.
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 They wouldn't. They wouldn't. They'd have people would say, okay, the left, nope, radical left. I'm not talking about people that are liberal. I'm talking about people that are radical.
Yeah.
Nope, not voting for him. Oh, that one, nut
Nope.
job, radical right. Nope, I'm voting for this person.
Yeah. Wow. When are we gonna get that?
The nut jobs would never end up in the White House.
And there's-
The Trumps would never end up in the
And
White
there's
House.
more and more nut jobs out there.
Because that's, you know,
It's turning.
Especially the-
I don't know if it's politics anymore. I think it's as much acting as it is politics. I think, and depending, of course, what state you're in. If you're one of these advanced modern states like Mississippi, Alabama,
Alabama, where you can't get mental health care.
yeah, you have a friend of yours,
Autism. Can't get autism.
That's
friend of
sad.
yours. What they've gone through.
Yeah, that's sad.
But it's I think it's become more acting than anything else. I have to act as crazy as I can, do commercials, firing AR-15s, which I don't know what that has to do with where you stand on issues. Sitting there doing commercials, firing AR-15s.
Makes you look.
That was Bobert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it shows you have nothing to bring to the table. It's about crazy.
Yeah, it's about crazy.
If I'm as crazy as can be, I'm going to get votes. From who? The morons.
Yeah, that's what.
The morons. And I think it's more acting than anything else, because I'm going to try to give these people a little leeway here. I can't believe that you are actually as crazy and stupid as you talk, as you are when you speak
They are.
with reporters. When you actually cannot be that stupid. So I think it's acting.
It's not acting. It's
No, I
them.
think I know some of them are very stupid, but they got to where they got.
They're still.
what was it?
They had to have some smarts.
One of them graduated from, was it, I don't know if it was Bobert or the Cro-Magnon.
Doesn't mean that you're
Graduated
smart.
from what, Harvard?
Oh, the
or something?
Neanderthal?
The Neanderthal,
really?
Yeah. One of them
Alright,
graduated, I
well,
think, from
maybe I
Harvard.
retract that statement, but
So that shows their standards.
all right. Well,
Well, maybe they're highly intelligent. They know.
Yeah.
You know what? Where
Alright,
my
maybe.
district, for me to win,
They're gonna
I have to be a
nutcases.
lunatic.
Yeah.
All right, maybe they have the system.
I
down
have to
right.
act like a lunatic, or else I'm not going to win.
Right.
Because these people here that I will represent if I win, they don't want to hear about policy. They want to hear the Mexicans are coming.
Yeah,
They're
taking
coming.
your
They're going to
jobs.
come to your house and take your guns. Like they're going to knock on the door and say, "Is this Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so? Get out of the way. We're going to take your guns.
They're gonna
Go
take
through
your-
your house. Take all your guns. Take them away."
They're going to take all your guns, and they're going to let the Mexicans come in and rape your daughter.
And then your daughters, they're going to force your daughters to have abortions. That's what I need
And
to talk
people fall
about.
for that crap.
That's what I need to
Yeah.
talk about. And they know that. They know that.
And then, especially with these paranoids, oh, they're going to take away all the guns. That's not going to happen.
See, but what bothers me,
And they
'cause
can't see that. It's not going to happen.
what bothers me very much is that battling depression my whole life and always seeing a lack of support for mental illness. A lot of these ignoramuses, these stupid people that you can tell them anything. Actually, you have to tell them stupid things or else you lose them. And everything has to be short.
Oh yeah, you have
Short.
to play dumb. You
Short.
have to dumb it down.
Like Donald Trump.
You have to dumb
short
it
and
down.
easy.
He was actually
Short and
smart.
easy.
Dumb it down.
Donald Trump was genius.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Anybody who gets offended by that, sorry.
No, but it's true.
Remember, like we said last week at a rally, go kick that guy's ass. I'll pay your legal fees.
Yeah.
You're damn right. Oh man, that's my guy.
Dumbed it
That's
down.
my guy.
Yeah. And look at the
Yeah,
support.
that's your guy because you move pig shit all day.
Yeah.
If
You're
It
unskilled.
was
You're
smart.
uneducated. You don't read. You don't do anything. You only watch one network. You know nothing.
Yeah.
So you like that bar talk. And this seems to be such a big thing on the right.
if Trump was a professional bass fisherman that competed with other people, he'd win.
Because he's saying a fish is this big.
Yeah, he knows how to pull them in. He knows which ones and how to do it.
Yeah, he does.
Not only that, he'd start talking about he reeled one in. It was this big, but he let him go.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have let him go. He would have
Biggest
kept him.
fish ever. I caught the biggest fish ever. No one's ever seen a fish that big. No one's ever.
He'd never have caught that fish anyway.
No,
He'd
they
never
don't
be
do that.
fishing.
They'd have to-
He's a liar.
Well, I know.
But you
But
know.
he knows.
Yes, he knows how to.
who to reel in and how to
Yeah.
do it.
But the
He
point I
does.
was trying to make is this: these same people that believe the stupidest shit, the stupidest, most ridiculous things, don't believe facts. Don't believe if there's something they don't understand, they don't believe it's true. The problem is there are so many things they don't understand because they're uninformed. What did Trump say? Who do we love?
He likes
we
the
love the uneducated.
Isn't that nice?
And now some Trumper would say he never said that. Look it up.
Yeah.
He said it
he
many
did.
times.
Yeah, and then you got all these uneducated that they listen to that and he goes, "Wow, he likes me."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, and, you know,
I mean,
There are also
Suckers.
a lot of them. I agree with them on a lot of things. Is that they're sick of the system where nothing gets done.
No. The system
Frustration.
is getting worse.
Frustration. Well, look at your friend in Iowa. What did he say? He voted for Trump the first time.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to give Donald
A chance.
Donald a chance.
Yeah, to give Donald a chance. He doesn't even fucking know him.
Did he vote for him the second time?
No.
He didn't vote for him the second time.
No.
It's not hard to understand that Trump lost re-election when so many people have voted for him the first time. The second time, like,
yeah.
Already
Yeah,
seen
they
this.
wanted to change. They were tired of everything else. They voted for this guy who was totally different, and then they didn't like the results.
And
Yeah,
can we
yeah.
blame?
So
and-
now, then they voted for Biden,
Yeah.
and now people aren't liking the results of
Of
what's going on.
course.
And can you
course.
blame people for being frustrated with the way things are? Not
Can't
now.
blame 'em.
Not now. For years and
Oh, it's
years
been
and years and years and years.
Yeah, it's been years.
People are frustrated with government. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Well,
it's not just
it
a
is very
Left
frustrating.
wing,
It's not-
right wing,
it's not just-
centrists, fed up.
It's not just the federal government.
Nothing gets
It's the
done.
local and state government.
Oh, don't even get me
It's
started on
all
city
of it.
governments,
It's
please.
all
Don't
of
even
it.
get me started on
Yeah.
city governments. They're the biggest waste of time and scammers and schemers.
Yeah.
And thieves the hardest on small businesses are local governments. People talk about,
yeah,
if
we
a
had to go
Republican
through a lot of
wins, the
stuff
White
with
House, or
Mark.
this or that. No. Worry about your local government. Yeah, how
Yeah.
much they're going to screw you.
Yeah.
I know firsthand,
Try to
believe
get a
me.
business
Yeah.
license in some of these places.
I know
Yeah.
firsthand what local government is like.
What
Believe
you
me.
have to go through.
Believe me. Like Trump says, believe me.
Believe me.
But again, these are the same people that what they don't understand to them is BS. It's not real. And then when there's mental illness in the home with a kid or something like that, they don't understand it. So guess what? It's not real. Not going to do anything about it. Kid ends up being a wacko. Ends up school shootings or whatever.
Yeah.
And the parents, it's not mental illness. It's just he's just being a boy. That's what boys
Well,
do.
that boy just murdered a bunch
That's
of
what
freaking
boys
students.
do.
So
Like I'd
that's
mentioned
not
this
what boys
before
do.
for these a-hole ignorant dads when they have a young boy that's battling depression who cries. Remember me? I said this a couple of episodes ago. I'm going to say it again because it happens. That's why I'm repeating it, because it happens. Where that kid is crying or isolating himself. With girls too, but I'm talking about the boys here because the boys are in a different situation, especially with some of these dads, where they'll smack their kid for crying.
Ugh,
Oh, we
that's
can't have
horrible.
that.
That's horrible. Yeah,
Because the kid, you got to be a man.
Yeah,
Men
yeah.
don't cry. Men, this. The kid doesn't know why he's crying.
No.
The kid has a mental condition, mental illness. What are the odds of getting help? What are the odds of that kid getting help from inside the home?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
not
there
gonna
needs to
happen.
be places where these kids can get help when they're not getting inside the home. You're asking a lot though out of a child
Yeah.
to, make that decision, right? That I'm going to go here or there to get help for myself because my parents aren't helping me, so I'm going to have to. That's a lot to ask out of a 12, 10-year-old, 13-year-old
Yeah.
when you're already confused. You're
Not
hurting.
knowing, you don't understand.
You're hurting. You're
Yeah, of
sad.
course.
You have thoughts going through your head, not necessarily of hurting other people, maybe yourself.
Yeah.
And you expect that child to say, "Yeah, let me take it upon myself. Mom doesn't care, or dad
Not
rules
around,
the house.
Whatever. Yeah.
Dad rules the house. Dad doesn't believe in mental illness, so let me do it." It's not how it works. Not how it works. A lot of times, sometimes those are the kids that end up with this result.
A lot of times.
I mean, this kid that just did the shooting, you look at his pictures, and he looks like there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, he did.
And there clearly was.
But you can't always judge a book by its cover.
That's true.
I mean, I've seen kids that
Look crazy, but they're really sweet.
I want to give them money. Here, I mean, go get yourself
And they're
something to eat because
fine.
their clothes are all ripped up, and then I realize, wait, but those jeans probably cost $250.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Hey, dude,
you want to give them money, but they're-
Those jeans without holes are $40. All
jeans
torn
with
up,
holes are
$250. Actually, what I'm going to do is start buying jeans, rip them all up, and then sell them.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think
for
so.
a 500%
We're
profit.
absolutely not doing that.
But anyway, we'll be right back. But I want to touch again on this because this is not about just politics. It's about a mentality. And then, unfortunately, the sad results.
Very sad.
So we'll be back. One
See you
second.
in a sec. We're back, and it's still piping hot outside.
Yeah, and people are watching this thing, and they're going to go, well, why don't you go inside?
Well, we will next time. It was cloudy in our defense earlier, so we thought we were going to be all right with it, but it's not. There's no clouds in the sky now.
Yeah, there are.
Not many.
There's enough.
So we were
Oh.
talking about mental illness and all that's going on in politics, how ridiculous it is. And what's ridiculous to me too is you have your Jeff Bezos and your Elon Musks, the two richest men in the world. Bezos, he just had a $500 million yacht built.
Yeah, 500 million
Jeez.
in Holland.
Okay.
In fact, there.
What do you do with that?
Amsterdam or Rotterdam, one of those dams. They wouldn't tear down a bridge so his new yacht can go through.
Well,
It's like the second largest sailing ship in the world.
that's not relevant to me. I really don't care
Yeah,
about
I mean,
that.
it's just
To me, what I
information.
care about is this. You have people in this country in government that want to always say, we got to cut taxes to these people. Cut taxes. Reduce their taxes. Reduce their taxes. Yeah, because, I mean, the poor guy, he only had to go with a $500 million yacht.
Yeah, that's what's
And then the
sad.
employees, of course, try to pay them as little as possible. Try to automate as much as possible, get rid of people. But we have to give them tax breaks. Now, I don't understand this math where These are the people that pay the most in taxes, right? The wealthiest pay the most in taxes. Biggest percentage of the tax base comes from the wealthy. Have them put in less, and then say we have less money coming in, so we need to cut money. Right? If the wealthy are going to pay less in taxes, then we need to put out less money, spend less. Veterans, mental health, hunger, this, that, all of that gets cut. So the
Yeah,
wealthy
it
pay
does
less
get
in
cut.
taxes. And poor people vote for these people.
Yeah, because they think it's going to trickle down to them.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, look,
Yeah, your tax cut is going to save you $7 a week.
look at these vets.
$7 a week.
Look at these vets that went to war. They came back with mental illness. They go to the VA. They're given a pill, or they're told where they're going, how to get there. And how many of them are living on the streets right now because they couldn't get?
So many are living
because
on
they
the
couldn't
streets
get
right
the
now.
health
They're
So
like
many.
I said before. They're like a broken rifle.
Yeah, they use them up and
They
chew them out.
were used up,
Yeah,
and a big thing with a lot of it was mental illness.
Yeah,
Think of what they went through.
yeah.
Think of what they went through. They came back, no support, and
No
imagine
support.
mental illness. As much as we need to improve things today, imagine in the 70s what it was
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
that in the 70s after Vietnam.
I mean, we're talking about
He-
Afghanistan, Iraq.
Right, but the problem is, and then there, well, and then some will say, but there are organizations that can, wait a minute, organizations? Yes, there are, and thank God there are.
And some
But-
are doing a real good job.
Where's the government here? What, you wash your hands of them?
Some are doing a good job.
That's what I
Not
said,
all.
some.
Yeah, some are.
Some, and some, the leader of the organization makes a hell buttload of money, right?
Yeah.
Administrative
course.
fees and
That's how it
whatnot.
works.
That's where a lot of the money goes sometimes.
Just
but
because it may be a nonprofit doesn't mean it's not a nonprofit for the guy that's running it.
but there isn't money for so many things, but they're always looking to cut money, tax cuts. That's the answer to all you right-wingers, because that's who you're representing. As we said last week, you look at the salaries of these people in government, and then look at their net worth.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, it's a job too. Like I also mentioned episodes ago, if you don't show up for votes and everything, it's okay. If you don't show up for your job, you're going to get fired. If they don't show up for votes, everything, that's fine. Nothing's going to happen.
Like little Marco used to not
Yeah.
show up a lot.
Yeah, he had a
Yeah, he's
horrible
infamous for
attendance.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to get booted out is if you get voted out. These are people running the country. This is why last week talked about narcissism.
Yeah.
Talked about narcissism. People willing to harm the country, harm thousands or millions of people even, affect their lives in a negative way to stay in power. Narcissism. That's why I believe we need a third party in this country.
I believe we do too.
You know?
A successful third party.
I don't care for either one. I dislike this one less, so I'm going to have to vote for this one. Oh, wow, that's great. That's a great choice.
Or vote for one of the third parties that has no chance of doing it. Going.
Right, which is basically a protest
It's a protest
vote.
vote.
And in some cases, you're actually voting, giving a vote, really, to the
the other
one
guy.
you hate the most.
Well, like with Gore.
Yeah.
And Nader took a ton
Ralph
of votes.
Nader took more votes than he lost by in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, if Nader had not run, Gore would have voted.
So you had so many people saying, I do not want George Bush to win, but I'm not going to vote for Gore, I'm going to vote for Nader. Well, all those votes for Nader, if they had gone to Gore, because they weren't Bush's votes,
Right.
Al Gore would have been president of the United States.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when
Everybody would
there
have
isn't
solar on their roofs.
a legitimate
Wow.
a legitimate chance for a third party to exist.
I would like to have solar on my roof.
Well, you got solar beating down your roof now.
Yeah, sure. We sure
So,
do.
this is the problem, is that there's no money for this, there's no money for that. Mental illness is a huge problem in this country. People say guns, 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 guns. Yeah, the guns are a problem too. Yeah, people shouldn't have guns.
A lot of people should.
A lot of people shouldn't have guns. You also have guns out there that shouldn't be out there.
The type
For what?
of gun, yeah, you're
For
right.
hunting?
No,
I don't know what kind of hunter
don't
you
need-
are.
I don't either. What are you
Um,
hunting? Actually, is my
Were you
question.
going to obliterate something with your
Yeah.
AR-15?
That's disgusting.
Here's an issue. especially in some of these other rural states where the father will give the kid a .22 rifle. Okay, go out and shoot something. Kid goes out and just starts shooting squirrels for no reason.
No, that's disgusting.
Okay, where's his mentality going to go?
Well, that's where it starts, with animals.
Those are the great rural
They can go
areas that in
themselves.
these states, system of government here. I mean, you're talking about the Constitution, man. That was 200-something years ago. It said it.
It's a long time ago.
Oh, you know, each state has 2 senators, so everyone's represented. Well, it turns out that's how you get a minority to impose their will on a majority. Wyoming has 2 senators. I don't actually have the population.
Vermont has 2 senators.
I don't have the
They've
Vermont.
got what, 2 people living?
Delaware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delaware has 2 senators.
California. 35
California
people,
has 2 senators. Texas 2. Florida 2. New York 2. So it's not so everyone is represented. It actually
It's not equal
in the times we live in now, it's where a minority of the population has more say than the majority actually. Throw in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Delaware, Vermont, the population, and then compare it to California.
Yeah, they got like 10 people
New York.
living there.
Yeah, and probably don't live there all year. In the winter,
I don't know.
I gotta get
They
the hell out
probably
of here.
no. In those
Florida.
states, they probably do.
3rd biggest state in population.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not equal representation. It's a minority imposing their will on a majority. And you know, the bigger states keep growing because that's where industry is. That's where factories are. That's where there's work. And you know how it is. Small farms. Well, everything's more automated now. Equipment. It's not 200 years ago where you had slaves, you know, digging in the soil. You have machinery
That's
for everything. You need
disgusting.
fewer people. Big farms, big corporations are coming in, knocking out a lot of these family farms.
And they're getting all the benefits from the government.
They get benefits from the government.
The big ones. The little guys don't get squat.
Sure.
And a lot of times poisoning the soil, poisoning the earth, poisoning us, what we eat from them,
Oh, yeah.
with pesticides
We're
and
always
whatnot.
poisoned with
But-
pesticides.
It's, I really don't know where we're headed here. Roe versus
Isn't
Wade.
looking very promising?
Roe versus Wade was we talked
Yeah,
about that.
that was
overturned.
disappointing.
Women now find themselves in a bad situation, and
now look where they
have
are.
to travel to a different state or
To-
here or
yeah.
there.
Yeah, they're going to make that illegal.
Yeah, they'll try to do that too because it's a minority imposing their will on a majority.
And we are in 2022.
And yeah,
No, we're in 1722.
Well, no, we are,
That's
but we're
where
in
they wanna
2022. But we are in 17.
and let me just say it. Just gonna say it. I didn't sugarcoat anything. There are a lot of men in this country, especially in those rural areas, where a woman working, your job is stay home, wash the dishes, clean the house, and raise the kids.
Barefoot and pregnant.
Barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah.
Does that mentality still exist?
Oh, you bet it does.
God damn right it does.
Yeah.
You damn right it does.
That's just disgusting.
You damn right
Unless
it
you
does.
choose to, unless the woman chooses to stay home,
We
that's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
fine. That's fine.
Chooses to, absolutely. Choice. Made that choice.
Joyce.
Just like we still have women get abused by a spouse. And her own family will say, you married him for better or for worse.
Exactly.
So in other words, you take them whippings because you married him for better or for worse.
Okay, I'd be divorcing my family at that point in
No,
time.
no support from the family.
I'd be divorcing them at that. There's separation there.
Does that mentality exist? Yeah, it still
Of course
exists.
it does.
We live in a world of lunatics. I'm sorry. And you know what? You're supposed to have mental health. Let me say this. I will put time into helping someone no matter what. I will not waste time with morons. I'm sorry, I won't. You know why? Because there's always someone you can help, and there are people that are beyond help. Don't waste your time with them. Don't waste your time with them.
Yeah.
It's not
Absolutely
worth
not.
it. You put in time.
You're only hurting yourself if you do that.
Absolutely, you're wasting your time. You put in your time where you can do some good. When people are just beyond help.
Yeah.
You know, like I talked about earlier when we started about the January 6th hearings. You can go ask Trumpers about, a lot of these Trump supporters about the hearings. They'll tell you they're this, they're that, they're fake, these people got paid off, it's not real, whatever. And then you ask them, did you watch it? No, I didn't watch it. Okay, then what the hell are you talking about then?
They want to have a word, even
You're
though
a moron.
you are.
I mean, at some point,
a big
I'm
moron.
sorry, this is not attacking people, but at some point, when you can say to yourself, you know what? I'm a moron.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm going to try to work on things. You know what? Instead of blindly being against something but not looking into it, maybe I'll look into it.
Well,
Maybe I'll watch the hearings.
you're not going to change that.
Maybe when it comes to mental illness, maybe I'll read about it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look into it. You know, my son, something's not right about our son. We know that, right? Something's not right about our son. Instead of, he's just a boy, leave him alone. Maybe we should say, wait a minute.
Give him a gun, have him go shoot some squirrels.
Wait a minute, we need to look into this. He may need our help. That doesn't happen a lot.
Few and far between.
It doesn't happen a lot. And you know what? It's those that they don't know anything, but they know everything. Oh, I know.
Isn't that gross?
I know.
Isn't that gross?
Remember that lady at one of the Klepper shows? I keep bringing the Klepper
Oh, I love him.
because they're awesome.
He's
Oh,
funny.
with a big figure?
Oh, he's
No,
good.
not that one. The other one where the lady said, I don't care about facts or whatever, I know what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes perfect
she
sense.
Does what she does.
I
She
don't
doesn't
care about facts because I know what I know. I would ask that lady, you know what you know based on what?
Well, Trump used that old saying, if you tell a lie enough times, it becomes fact.
Yeah, but you only had to tell him once.
Exactly.
So-
For these guys,
Yeah, well, that's all it
Listen.
took. That's all it took.
Let's bring him up for a second too, because narcissism, again, because we're ruled here by narcissists everywhere around us. A lot of these Trumpers say we don't like being called a cult. We're not a cult. Yes, you are. I'll give you a perfect example. Trump, when he was running for president, kept saying, Mexico is going to pay for the wall 100%. I guarantee it. I guarantee
Oh, my
it. Believe
God.
me. Believe me. Said it over and over and over. What did he then say down the road? What he then did at rallies was this. And people don't talk about this. And people should think about this and go, wow, that's true. He then stopped saying Mexico is going to pay for the wall. He would say this. Who's going to pay for the wall?
yeah.
And now the crowd would say, Mexico.
And did
He
Mexico pay for the
brainwashed them.
wall?
And what did the president of Mexico say about that?
That was the former president.
The former
You can go
president.
F yourself or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Go F yourself.
He said, we're not paying for the effort.
Of course not.
But this is what's important, not who paid
It's
for the
lunacy.
wall. It's the strategy.
Yeah, of course.
Say it over and over and over, and then get to the point where they're now saying it.
Yeah, well, he's
Because
got
I
it down
saw him
right.
many times saying, who's going to pay for the
He's
wall?
got it down right. He knows how to work
Mexico.
his, he knows how to work his
For you
followers.
Trumpers, did Mexico pay for the wall?
No. And they weren't ever going to.
If
But y'all believed it.
if you if you brought Reagan back, you go, Mr. Trump, tear down this wall. Trump would go,
That's
"The
good.
hell-
That's
the hell's he
pretty good.
talking about?
That's pretty good.
He'd probably say it in China too.
That's good.
Mr. Jing, tear down this wall.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, okay, you know what? This thing's been here thousands of years. You can actually see it from space. No, we're not going to tear it down.
Yeah, that was good.
But the narcissism, these are people that want to run the country. Do these people care about mental illness? Do they care about do they care about veterans? No. They care about being in power.
Wow, that water went right down me.
About being in power.
Whoops.
That's all they care about. And then we're screwed. We're screwed if we don't vote for the best candidate available, right? Available. And
That's
then
the only choice we have.
and then
That's it.
hold them accountable.
The lesser of two evils.
And then the other thing is
The
hold them
lesser of
accountable.
two. Yeah, well,
And this
yeah.
goes out to Democrats and Republicans. They promise you the world.
Yeah.
You vote for them, and when they go into power, if they don't live up to their word, hold them accountable. Instead of, oh no, this is Democrat, that's my guy. I don't care what he does. Or that my Republican, nope,
But
that's
you
my
need
guy.
to care. You need to
I don't care.
care.
That's my guy. Teams, right? My team. That's my team. Well, you know what? These guys don't have teams anymore.
Yeah.
For those of you, especially the Republicans, for those of you that are obsessed with being with the R next to the name, a lot of these Republican candidates are no longer part of a team. They're about them.
Yeah, that's true.
Donald Trump was not a Republican. He didn't care about the Republican Party. It was about him. He was willing to destroy the Republican Party if necessary.
Very
Because
true.
who does he go after? He doesn't go after Democrats. He goes after Republicans that weren't supportive, that didn't pledge their oath to him, kiss his butt. He goes after Republicans. That's his favorite target.
And these people that are obsessed with him, they don't realize that obsession is a form of mental illness.
Well, they're mentally ill anyway because, in the first place, you're being lied to. The lies that he told you, at the time, maybe you thought
And
they
they're
were,
believing them.
maybe you thought at the time that he's being honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh yeah, Mexico is going to pay for the wall because he said so.
Alright.
Okay, but Mexico didn't. So
Right.
now you can look back and go, okay, that was BS.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's a pattern here.
And another thing
Long
too,
pattern.
another
Yes.
thing too that surprises me with these rural people, because a lot of them have this mentality: their word means something. Their word.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people, not just in the South, throughout the country, in those rural areas, where a handshake.
And
To
not
do a
just-
deal.
Not just here, but throughout the world.
Yeah, but
Of
we're
course.
talking about here because Trump, is here. His supporters. A lot of people that believe in that. A man's word means something. This man's lied to you 1,000,000 times.
And people still like him.
1,000,000 times. You now have the opportunity, the luxury now. Think of how fortunate you are to go back over everything he said. Lie, 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 lie. The next thing he says, oh yeah, I believe him. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I agree. There is
Now, I'm
something
not
wrong.
saying that as an attacking someone. I am telling you, if you're constantly lied to, you constantly believe it. You don't even look back at the pattern of lies and then believe the next lie from the same source. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry because it's true.
I know, but some people say, oh, you're attacking. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm stating a fact. There is something wrong with you.
There is. Completely.
And you need to look at yourself and
That's
say,
what you need to do. You need to look at yourself. Take a look at yourself.
you're absolutely
A
right.
second or third look
How
at yourself.
many people do that?
That's the problem.
Oh, I agree.
That's
there might be a
the
few in
problem.
between in there, but yeah.
You need to look at yourself and say,
Wow.
Wait a minute.
What's going on here?
wait a minute. This used car salesman tactic he had on me
Loan
worked
shark.
on me. It worked on me.
Yeah.
Well, that's on me.
Yes.
That's on you.
Yes.
You can blame him for all his BS. No, it's actually you fell for his BS.
Yeah.
And outrageous things.
Over and over
The
and over.
birther thing with the big news coming from
Oh,
Hawaii,
my
the
God.
birther
That is
thing.
so freaking
Nothing.
ridiculous. Ignorant.
Hey, Trumpers, nothing.
Of course there was not going to be any.
And a lot of you rural people in a lot of these southern states, you know this perfectly well. They don't like the New York and New Jersey types,
No, the elites, no, they don't like that.
and the way they are. They're not. They don't want to share our values. I always heard that for so many. Well, you like Trump. Does he share your values? I don't give a damn about you people. Give me a
He
break.
doesn't.
Hey, you bikers all on your Harleys. Trump is not a biker. You veterans, the guy got out of Vietnam and called the ones that went to Vietnam suckers. What is wrong with you people, man? At some point, you got to open your eyes because it's not just about. Let me finish this. It's not just about politics. It's about everything else in your life. It's about your kid having the sense to say something's wrong with our son.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with our daughter. Instead of being a moron, and then there are consequences.
Major consequences.
It's not
at times,
consequences
sometimes.
aren't just, oh, they're going to do a school shooting. Of course, that doesn't happen every day. No, there's suicide, alcoholism, drugs, abusing women. There are so many results that can come out of that because of the parents being so close-minded
Or so obsessed with something.
or in denial
Isn't it-
even. In denial. Denial's another thing. Look at these
Oh,
Trump.
denial's
Oh, he didn't lose. No, he didn't lose. Of course he didn't lose. Yes, he did lose.
Okay, that-
because he loses,
that
people
is-
lose.
yeah.
And this happens even in sports with morons. Oh, our team would have won if it wasn't for the referee. You lost by 35 points.
Yeah, still.
It's a referee.
This
It was a
denial,
referee.
this denial of reality. carries into so many things. Yeah, it's in politics, of course. It's in religion, where a religious leader can tell you stories from 2,000 years ago, and oh yeah, hey, did you ever sit back and listen to what he just told you and make sense out of that?
The monsters in
that makes sense to you?
Yeah.
Why don't these things happen now?
Well,
What happen now?
Not really knock religion, but there's some famous atheist. He was asked once, "Why? How did you become an athist?"
He read the Bible.
He read the Bible.
Exactly. Exactly. And for those of you too, like I saw a thing on Twitter, it was great, where some church had the founding fathers read the Bible, and they put over it. Yes, and that's why they completely kept it out of government.
Yeah.
But that's fine. People have a right to believe things, whatever, like I said, as long as you don't harm anybody else or push it on somebody else. That's fine. But this denial of reality, this is where these kids, these crazy kids that need help, don't get it, whatever, because the parents don't see things. They don't want to see things.
Or they don't want to see things.
Or they don't believe in things.
Or they don't have the time.
A lot of things, too, is, mental illness, that's a weakness. No.
Yeah. No kid of mine's
going to be weak like that.
Even in some of these schools, they can see the kids got problems. They don't do anything.
Well, that's disgusting.
Or sometimes they can inform the parents, listen, we're concerned with it. But some do.
Some do.
And nothing gets done.
Yeah.
Let's understand something. Your kid lives in your house. Now, this kid lives in an apartment, whatever. But I'm not talking about this specific kid from this one time. This happens all over the country.
Every day.
Every day. This is your kid. You birthed him. You raised him. You know, you should be the person that knows something is wrong with this kid, my kid, before anybody else. And it's not up to the government, it's not up to the school board or wherever the kid goes to school, it's not up to neighbors, it's not up to your pastor, it's up to you to realize something is wrong here.
Yeah.
And then do something about it. So you don't lose your kid, or your kid doesn't end up doing something horrific to other people.
Oh, that's just...
That falls in the house. Sorry, that's where the responsibility should be. And there's too much of, well, the government needs to do this, or they need to do that, and schools need to do this, do that. Yeah, in some cases, yeah, there needs to be improvements in certain things, of course. But it should start at home. Because if you don't realize there's something wrong with your own child, man, where are you? Get the blinders off.
And
Sorry,
it's up to you to raise your kid, not the village.
And I'm sorry I got a little rowdy because what happened here was just heartbreaking. Heartbreaking to me. All right, folks, we'll be back.
Thanks for tuning in again.
And please visit our website, depression-youarenotалone.com. And you can follow us on YouTube, and please subscribe and give us a like. It's free.
Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter and
Say YouTube.
Subscribe to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our YouTube channel, and give us a like.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.